All right. Everyone good?
I should be good.
Yeah, okay. So, each of you is going about whatever your daily routine is for your characters when before you, suddenly, without warning, out of the air appears a handwritten letter in a curled, elegant script reading, "Your monarch requires you," and with what you all recognize as a simplified symbol of the king on the bottom.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, awesome. I'm finally getting the recognition I deserve. This is going to be so great for spreading the word of the Silver Flame.
I'll have to ask if I can make time off of work.
If you are to reach out and touch the letter, it will dissolve in your hand, and upon the back of your hand will appear that symbol.
Hope this isn't permanent.
No, this does not help.
Can we show the symbol?
Yep.
Reveal the symbol. Wrong symbol.
This appears before you without the laurel and void of color. Does anybody else have any reactions to this letter, or are you all just heading to the capital?
My character will see this as a new business opportunity and definitely be getting ready to head towards the capital.
Well, it looks like my hands are crossed. I mean, inked. So I'm probably gonna just pack up and get ready.
Ember will start packing her things, and she will give a big speech to her town about, I am leaving you all now. I know it's heartbreaking, but you will all be fine. I will go. I will tell everyone about the lovely town of Saltmire. And before you know it, I'll be back and you can all bask in my radiance once again. I'll miss you all terribly, and she'll start leaving town.
Most of the townspeople are sad to see you go. A few are just like, thank God we don't have to listen to the daily speech. Upon arriving at the capital after however many days travel, you are respectively far from the capital. You reach the gate, and as soon as you show your symbol on your hand, you are ushered through to the palace, where outside you encounter two guards who asks you to please wait a few moments while they summon the king and alert him of your arrival. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to say that you all arrive at the same time, and you'll notice that you all share the same symbol.
You'll also likely notice the odd contraption that's incredibly long that drove up to the capital.
Yes, you notice a train. You're not sure what a train is, but you notice it. The guards make you keep it outside the city gates because they don't trust
Like
it.
it's an animal.
Would you like to describe yourselves so that each of you knows what the other looks like?
This is just the walking a stranger's paradise. Well, I
You're first.
am a half-orc. I've got a breastplate with a fucking kind of a hooded cloak, sort of a short cloak, but you know, way bigger than maybe looking way bigger than he is, even though he's already kind of huge. And he's got glasses on.
Nice. Ember is a fire genasi. She has fire engine red skin. Her hair kind of looks like have you ever seen like molten lava sort of like dripping down a hill? It kind of looks like that, cascading over her shoulders. She also has a pink hairband, so you know that the hair doesn't actually burn. Her eyes are sort of like a glowy orange that matches the orange part of the hair. She is wearing a pink choker where in the center of it is a sort of platinum jewel that's just the shape of a small tuft of fire. She has soot black shoulder pads, a golden scale mail shirt, a sort of like black pencil skirt with a fire sort of design along the hem. And she's also wearing sort of gold heeled scale mail boots. That's probably too much description, but I thought about this character a lot.
Don't worry, I've got the pictures open while you're describing them.
I didn't design my character until like last night. Even though I had like the basic idea of him for like actual fucking years. Close to a decade probably. It's like, yeah, I'll just use this concept finally.
My character is a short little goblin. She looks pretty damn adorable. She is wearing a train conductor's uniform. Nice shade of blue, a gray vest underneath, and then a white shirt underneath that. A blue tie to match. Little hat. Just, general garb for someone who drives a train, or is the ticket master on a train. She doesn't really have them on right now, but she does have a pair of brass knuckles. And, her design is 100% just the goblin from the Twisted Taverns / yeah, that's the whole name of that thing, isn't it? It's just the Twisted Taverns, right? Yeah. It's the goblin from the Twisted Taverns Railway. Because I, really liked that design and wanted to build it and play in a campaign, so I got the book. Because A, a bunch of cool tavern ideas, and B, I get to now play that goblin in a campaign. Along with the entire fucking train.
See, supporting dope-ass creators. And Hope.
So, my character's name is Zoe. She's just a human. She wears a pretty colorful cloak. One thing to note is that she does keep herself pretty clean for the time era. She is very poised with the way she presents herself. And but she does remain at the back right now, mostly just listening, trying to find out why she was indicted to a gang.
That's one way to describe being summoned by the king of the nation. Okay.
I mean...
Well, yeah, until he put the tattoo on the back of my hand.
Yeah, that made it more gang.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Or, we're being branded for war against another kingdom. One of the two.
The King's Gangsta Squad.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I mean, it is kind of like garish, but at least it marks us as a team. That's kind of cool.
As you stand there, kind of discussing your newly found tattoos and debating whether or not you are in a gang now.
Or part of a team. I don't know any of you guys. I've got my own family that works on the train with me.
I tried so hard to stay out of gangs all my life.
Yeah, you're a book nerd who also is a sword nerd.
You stand there debating this, and in front of you stands the two palace guards, whose pictures I'm throwing in the chat, and we can throw up on screen. One of them turns to you, Val, and says, I gotta say, I've seen a lot of attractive women in my time, but you're looking hot. And he nudges his partner.
Oh my god, thanks. Like, it's so great to get, like, you know, such a warm reception. And I'll give him a wink.
Oh, I like this one. I like this one. She's good. She's good. What do you think, Luke? And Luke, the one with a nose ring, he rolls his eyes and then takes a better look at you and says, Do you want some water to put that out?
Oh no, you see, this is what marks me as a chosen of the Silver Flame. When you have, like, a really strong connection to your god, and that if you're really important to that religion, it tends to actually show itself physically. But I can understand why that'd be a surprise to someone that's, just kind of ordinary. Still very sweet, but ordinary.
He thinks about this very hard for a moment, and then he goes, "You know what? Yeah, that checks out. I'm pretty sure that's what happened to one of the advisors." That he turns to Dax, his partner, and he goes, "Isn't that what happened to her? She, like, caught fire because of her religion or something?" And then he's like, "Buddy, they don't even pay me enough to do what I'm doing right now." You're stood there waiting for a few more minutes, and then a young man comes out in a skull mask. Here is his picture. Steven.
Ooh.
He comes out and he goes, "The king will see you. I will escort you." Dax immediately pats him on the back hard, sends him almost flying into you all like a bowling ball. And says, "Harold, how you doing, my man?" The young man then responds, "No," very quietly, no, again, that's my job description, not my name. It's Ray. It's not." He slaps him on the back again. He goes, "Harold, you're such a joker." Harold, with a deep sigh, says, "Please follow me. The king will see you."
Thank you, Harold.
Thanks, Harold.
No, that's okay. Come on.
I mean, don't feel too bad about it. I mean, titles are important.
Thanks. You know what? That's nice to hear sometimes. Titles seem to be so important around the palace, and it's really nice that someone's paying attention to my actual name.
I mean, as a herald, you're kind of like the hype man of the nation. Like, that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, you're right. Harold the Hype. No, not Harold. No, that's not my name. Not my name.
It's a very average sounding name.
No. Just follow me to the king. He leads you through until you meet with King Calhoun. He is, rather than as you'd expect, sitting in a throne room, kind of distant from everyone, he is on the floor, ready to meet you, ready to greet you. He holds out his hands in a large, welcoming gesture with a big smile, and says, "Welcome! I hear I've summoned you."
You hear you've summoned us?
Yes.
Wouldn't you know?
What was that?
Wouldn't you know if you summoned us?
Well, it's a funny thing, actually. I never really know who I'm summoning, but people show up at my palace and they need me, and I welcome them. I'm not sure what your role is here, but I'm sure we'll figure it out together. Now, I hear that you were marked or tattooed or something of that nature. Harold here wasn't very clear. In the background, Harold goes, "No."
I'll hold up my hand with the symbol on the back.
His eyes widen a little bit to see it. And he goes, do the rest of you have the same?
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of showed up with a letter. It didn't really explain anything.
Yes.
So I had to travel for a few days.
Yes, they do that. Well, I know why you're here. Let me gather you into the back room of my palace. Come with me.
Oh, very comforting.
I don't like having this on my hand. Can it be removed?
It will vanish when it is your task is completed.
I don't like that.
I might get a pair of gloves or something.
Can you, move it to my shoulder so it's not so visible to everyone?
I'm afraid that's not quite how it works.
Does it go to the outside of the glove if I decide to put one on?
No, you can cover it with gloves. I can have a servant bring you a pair of gloves.
Get really annoying like that.
He claps his hands, a servant appears, and he orders them to gather gloves for all of you, and the servant quickly takes a look at your hands to determine what size and brushes off.
I think everyone's medium except for the small little goblin.
Probably. The servant looks at your hands and goes, kid size, alright.
Do these come in red or orange? These plain brown ones don't really fit my brand.
We can make that happen for you, yes ma'am.
Well, thank you.
The servant will hurry off on her errand, and the king gathers you all further back into the palace. You pass by many, many rooms, just grand rooms of dining rooms. You pass several bedrooms that are being made up, lounges, various different places, till you're in what seems to be the very back corner. He opens a door, and it seems to open into a second palace. Not quite as grand as the first. The entryway here is circular and has 10 rooms going off of it, as well as an exit to where you can see a garden.
My character will whisper to Zoe, he's so rich, even his palace has a palace.
Couldn't imagine.
Weird.
So
that palace has a palace.
Each of the 9 rooms, and there's, again, the one door leading outside, has a symbol over the top of it. As you look, there is a symbol of a teddy bear, a symbol of a clock, a symbol of a wave, a symbol of a cloud, a symbol of 2 crossed swords, a symbol of a heart, a symbol of a flower, a symbol of a flame, and a symbol of a book. He gathers you into the center of this round room, and he says, this is where my advisory council lives. Now, a little bit of background, out of character here. You all are aware of the king's famous advisory council, who helped him immensely in the Great Uniting. That is the event 50 years ago when the king united the 4 separate nations into one under him. They were said to be the key difference, the key victory, the key difference that determined his victory in that uniting. However, they have very rarely been seen in public. They are extremely secretive. In character, he continues to explain to you, some of my council has recently, it seems, disappeared, along with my son. And 4 of them, in fact, have disappeared, and there are, in fact, 4 of you. I assume that you are here to either replace them or find them. Hopefully you can find them, because several of them have been with me from the get-go, and I would very much like them back. As well, I would very much like my son back.
Yeah, because if they're gone, that means your son might also be gone.
Yes.
I'm not sure I qualify for politics.
I mean, I have a lot of responsibilities as a chosen of the Silver Flame, but I'm sure we'll be able to find your friends and your son. No problem at all. I can tell there's so much talent just radiating from this group. Easy peasy.
Thank you so much. I've no idea where they could have got to. My son was supposed to return a month ago from traveling around the country in preparation to take over for me, as I am reaching quite an old age, and he has not. And it was around this time that my council seemingly vanished in the middle of the night. I am desperate to get them back, so hopefully you can do this. Discreetly, I might add, because it would be quite a boon to our enemies to find out that some of my council is missing. Now, you, and he points to Val's character, I'm bad at names.
Ember.
Ember. Of course, because fire. Ember. He points to Ember. You said you were a hero of the Silver Flame?
Oh yes, the god known as the Silver Flame has chosen me to spread its warmth across the land. It is my duty to bring a warm and guiding light to the innocent, and to burn evildoers to the ground. And I take that responsibility very seriously.
Interesting. I think that you should start by talking to my priestess, but perhaps take the caregiver or the lover with you. Those are the titles of some of my advisors. She is also quite religiously, let's say, inflamed. However, talking to her alone tends to not get good results. So he points to the room with the heart and the room with the flower. You may want to start talking with one of them first. Alternatively, my scholar may know a little bit about where they've gone. I'll leave it to your discretion. He points to the door with the book on it. Around this time, the servant comes back with your gloves to provide them to you.
My character will not put on the glove.
I'll absolutely put on the gloves.
Look, I'm fairly certain it'll probably get in the way of her goddamn brass knuckles when the time comes for
That's
a fight,
true.
so I'm not dealing with that.
That's fair. The king addresses the servant and says, "Wait outside of the door here for them to be done with their conversations with the council, and see to their every need after they are finished." He bows slightly to each of you and says, "I will leave you to discuss." He then exits the room.
Alrighty.
So, do we just, go into one of these rooms?
I mean, you could just burst in. I would advise knocking, but, you could. Voice of God here,
Get out of here, God.
Well, I suppose we better get started, and I will knock on the. I'll start with the door with the heart.
All right. After a couple of knocks, a very attractive young woman, at the moment not wearing much of anything, answers the door. She looks you up and down. She goes, "Well, you're not who I was expecting." And then she looks past you to the others. "But I see you brought friends, and that can be fun."
Oh, we're here in an investigative capacity. We are looking for the missing advisors and the king's son. I was told a good start would be to talk to the priestess, but apparently I'll be needing your help.
Oh, you're here on business. Oh, 1 second. She slams the door quickly, and then after a few minutes, reopens it, this time in proper attire. Come in.
I'll walk in.
She gestures. Are the rest of you coming in too, or are we having a one-on-one?
I mean, I guess you might as well come in.
Yeah.
She leads you into this grand room, which is it's honestly too big to be called a bedroom. It's more so of a large apartment. She has everything she needs there, but most of it is taken up by the very large, luxurious-looking bed. You notice that every surface here is very large and luxurious looking, and if you look too hard at the things hanging from the ceiling, you start to imagine the kind of things she gets up to.
I'm looking at the floor.
It's probably impossible to tell because her skin is red anyway, but Ember is blushing.
She gestures you to a large table and says, "Come, sit. Don't mind the table, all the stains on it. I'll clean that off in a second." And she grabs a rag and quickly wipes down the table and hands you all rags and says, "You may want to wipe down your chairs too before sitting. It's I don't get much company that's here on business."
Noted.
So she sits down with you all and she says, "So you were here about my missing friends then?"
My character.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
My character, before sitting, will cast Unseen Servant and have it clean the chair thoroughly.
That's probably smart.
I've got a nice little, suit, top, and, skirt on. I don't want to get it ruined or anything.
That's probably fair. She does offer you a booster seat.
My character takes offense to that.
Okay, so she has asked you, you're here for my missing friends?
Apparently.
Oh, we've been kind of contracted to solve the little problem about all the missing people.
Well, that's quite a relief. I mean, they're one of the few couples I've managed to successfully set up, so I was very sad to see them go, you know. Although I guess it opens up the floor for more matchmaking.
So, the advisors that went missing, they were involved. They were in a couple.
2 of them were, yes. 2 of them weren't. I mean, I tried to pair them up, but, it's really hard to find matches for people who are so reclusive. Yes, so the Master of the Sea and the Master of the Sky, they were an established couple. They were dating. However, the Guardian was not in a relationship, and to be honest, I haven't seen the others for quite a long time. They've actually been gone much longer.
So has this been a problem for a while?
No, the king has never been concerned about the others. Only since the others, those 3 went missing, is he get all worried.
Probably because it coincided with his son also, going missing. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I guess that would be important, huh?
It's true.
Yeah, it's a shame his son went missing. He was adorable. Personally, I think he's just off in some little town, spreading his wild seeds, having a little bit of fun away from Daddy.
I'm still just cleaning the chair. Just making extra sure.
Ember is very seriously considering just letting it on fire.
I'm just going to laugh at my Unseen Servant.
Yeah, it's fine. You can just burn away any germs anyway.
No. So, I've read a lot of detective novels, and they usually start with, did they have any enemies? Is there anyone who didn't like the prince?
No, the prince was universally adored. I mean, his father is such a good ruler. I don't understand why anybody would dislike the prince. And it's not like he's, stuck up or anything. He's always been a prince of the people. Very humble. As for the other advisors, I mean, the Master of the Sea and the Master of the Sky, they have been around since the Great Uniting, so I suppose that some of our old enemies from then would not like them. The Guardian as well. However, I can't think of anybody who would strike now. It's so long afterwards. Now keep in mind too, I wasn't around back then. I'm a replacement for the original lover, so I don't have the whole story.
This isn't really pertinent to the investigation, but just for my own curiosity, what exactly do you advise the king on?
Oh, well, see, advisory council is sort of a general term. We have a lot of different roles. My particular one, my predecessor was his personal guard during the Great Uniting, and I still escort him to any major events outside the city. However, other than that, I don't really have a lot to do with the politics.
I was half expecting to see you on account or something.
Oh, no, I am not that great at math, to be perfectly honest. That's why I tend to lose track in, well, in, let's say, my parties. The invites tend to get a little out of hand. And fist. And mouth.
Noted.
Would you be interested in coming with us to interview the priestess?
Oh, sure, I can help you interview her.
All right.
Shall we do that now?
I mean, I can put up the do not disturb sign. She pulls out a stack of them. And she goes through, nope, 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 nope. Oh, this is the business one right at the bottom. Out for business.
It's just a tie.
They are all just various different articles of clothing with do not disturb written on them.
Alright, let's go to the other room. That's hopefully not like this one.
Yeah, so it was the flower was the other one that was recommended, so we'll head there.
The flower's the caretaker. If you're looking for the priestess, she's the flame.
Oh, right. I assumed we needed both of them before talking to the priestess, but yeah, we'll go see the priestess now.
Oh, well, if the caretaker's not with her children, then we can absolutely bring her too.
Oh, sure.
Alright, yeah, sure.
You all head next door to the flower room. After knocking a few times and not receiving much of an answer, the lover says to you all, "We should probably check the garden for her."
Alright.
She leads you out into the garden where you see a tall woman with brunette hair. I'm going to post her picture in the chat, and it's also up on the stream. Bent over, getting just her hands right in that dirt. She seems to be transplanting flowers. The lover calls out to her. She stands and sees you all and rushes right over, wiping her hands against her apron. And she goes, "Oh, company! Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you were here sooner. Come in. Let me get you something to drink and eat. You all look like you must be starving."
It's been a long journey.
She leads you into her apartment, which is very homey but cluttered. It reminds you, it essentially looks like it belongs to a mother who takes care of a whole bunch of kids. Very cluttered with toys, and there are things around, but fresh flowers everywhere, and it seems like even though she just walked in the door, she already has tea going, and she's plating up some cookies for you. She presents each of you with a plate of cookies and a cup of tea. And
My character will enjoy the cookies.
She sits down and kind of tucks her hair behind her ear and goes, "I'm so sorry for the mess. If I had known you were coming, I would have cleared up."
Oh, don't worry.
We barely knew we were coming.
Short notice too.
Yeah, we're easy. We would like your help though. We've been tasked with finding the missing advisors as well as the king's son.
Oh, good. Oh, I've been so worried about them. Yes, I will help with anything you need.
Well, we would like your help interviewing the priestess. But in addition to that, if you have any information, any any theories of your own that might help us figure out what exactly happened?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I know that some of the advisors have been missing for quite a while, but the king was never concerned for them. I certainly am, because they're not very old. They shouldn't be out on their own like this. I know they're very capable, but I would have felt much better if somebody had gone with them at the time. The others, I'm not so sure what might have happened to them, but I think they're off. They seem, how to put this delicately? I don't think they're very well. I think that they may believe that they can serve better elsewhere. And that's just delusional, to be honest with you. I'm worried that they are suffering from some sort of mental illness and that they're out there alone and they're so dangerous to themselves and each other. I'm very much worried that they might have gone off of their own volition, but not knowing the consequences.
So they were unhappy with working for the king?
Well, that's the thing. They weren't. They were very happy working for the king, but, well, we had a bit of a discussion around it, and they seemed to be under the impression that our duties had been moved elsewhere.
Moved elsewhere? How so? Was there talk of them being replaced?
No, well, there was a little bit. Some of them have been around since the very beginning, so it was getting about time that they retired. Took on an apprentice, you know. But see, here's the thing. Our loyalty, it isn't always necessarily to the king. We serve what we believe is best. And I think they may have believed that serving the king was no longer best.
Interesting.
Well, who else would they be serving?
There is a tale amongst us, and I don't know if I should be telling this to outsiders. She looks to the lover, who looks extremely uncertain, but that could be because she's very distracted by the cookies.
Well, I mean, we were brought here for honestly nebulous reasons that might be specifically related to this, so...
Well, I suppose if you were called here for this, then you deserve all the information. There is a myth among us that we are chosen to serve a mythical queen, that she will arise one day and unite the entire world under her guidance and leadership, that she is all goodness united into one person, and that we have been chosen with these powers to serve her. I think that they may have felt that she had arisen, but I'm not so sure.
What do you believe led them to believe that?
Well, this. And she removes her gardening glove to show the same symbol that appeared on your hands. About a month and a half ago, it appeared on all of us. And it had only done that previous when we were called here to train. It always disappeared after we had assumed the mantle that we were given.
Does this mythical queen, has she appeared before at any point? Is there any folklore about her?
Thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, but not in any living memory.
Is there any story about where she initially appeared thousands and thousands of years ago?
It said she used to rule over the earth from the moon.
But we can't go to the... I don't think we can go to the moon. Oh, actually, turn around and do the to our new goblin friend. It's just like, does your train thing go to the moon?
The problem with flying that high up is you start to run out of oxygen after a while.
That would be a problem.
That makes sense.
Believe me, we've tried.
The caretaker laughs and says, "Oh, imaginations of children." She reaches over and pats the goblin on the head.
My character will fume.
Ma'am, with all due respect, I believe that's an adult.
Oh, but you're so tiny.
Sometimes adults are small.
Well, yes, but you are so tiny.
I think they're a different race. I can't be so certain. They could just be ill as well.
Are you a different race or are you ill?
I'm a goblin. So I'm a different race.
Oh! I've heard of you. You mine, right?
Just gonna lean over to Hope's character. Man, I can't believe she works for the government.
I really can.
No, yeah, you're right.
We don't mind by our own will, that's for certain.
Oh. I just figured with how tiny you are, you'd be so good at, getting into all those little spaces.
You're thinking of dwarfs, man.
Oh, maybe I am. It's so hard to keep all these mythological creatures straight.
These ones are green, if that helps.
That does help. But yes, I think that they may have gone off to try and find this queen, and that is a fool's errand, and they may end up hurt.
Well, I find when it seems like there's no other solutions, faith leads the way. So, shall we go talk to the priestess?
Yeah. But I'm just kind of wondering. I'm just gonna kind of wonder for myself. I guess this is maybe history or Arcana. Are there any places I can think of that are greatly associated with the moon?
In terms of this country,
Yeah.
the farther north you go, the more people believe you're closer to the moon.
Yeah, that tracks now that I think about it. Because it's warmer souther, so you're closer to the sun. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, of course.
There's one little town up north called Starden. I mean, it has the word star in it.
Mentally noting it as a possible avenue for investigation.
Now, if you're going to visit the priestess, you must know to handle her carefully. She is quite volatile and hasn't been the same ever since the war.
Well, I'm sure I'll be able to, connect with her over our shared love of faith. I'm sure it'll be besties before too long.
My -2 charisma ass, so I can't do anything about this.
You head on over. The caretaker packs you each a small lunch, even though you're only going next door.
Thank you.
With a juice box.
Nice.
And some fruit snacks.
My character will very cutely end up drinking that juice box.
Doing her little sippies because she's a grown-up.
And you head next door. You allow the caretaker to knock on the door at her insistence. And slowly, after a long period of time, the priestess opens the door and stares at you all silently.
I'm just gonna bow a little bit.
She bows in response, and then steps back and gestures for you to enter.
Alright, I'll enter first. I've made first contact.
When you enter, you notice this is a much more empty space. Along one wall is set up a series of targets, and there is a bow decorated like it is on fire, resting against the targets. On the other
Ooh.
side is pretty much her entire living space. No real walls or anything, a small wall for the bathroom, but otherwise it's wide open space.
My character will look at the cool bow.
It's a lovely room you have here.
Thank you.
So, my name's Ember Dreamtail, and we might have something in common. We are both connected to our deities. I am the champion of the Silver Flame. Who do you fall?
She's staring at your hair with growing horror.
I just sort of like flip it, and like a few droplets of like molten lava just sort of like fall off.
She screams and rushes over to where she has a bucket of water and throws it at you.
A bunch of steam is like coming off of her hair, but it's still sort of like flowing. The black parts that are streaming down are a bit more wider now, and the hair's like a lot flat. And I'm just like, why would you do that?
Good start. Good start, everyone.
She's still staring at you with horror, and she keeps muttering, "It won't go out, it won't go out, it won't go out, it won't go out, it won't go out." The caretaker rushes to her and starts trying to calm her down, while the lover starts rushing Ember specifically out the door.
All right. Good start.
This is going great.
Oh, yes. It's going great. Ma'am, we're here to help with the missing
People's
person.
problem.
Missing people? Missing people? They're missing? Where are they? Where are they? Are they on fire? Are they trapped in the house? What is happening? She is really freaking out right now.
All right. I think these were supposed to be questions we were hoping you would answer.
Yeah.
The caretaker gestures to you to just give her a minute, and she
No, you're right.
rushes her over to another corner of the room away from everyone else and starts like chatting quietly with her and trying to calm her. You have a few minutes while she calms down to kind of regroup and rethink your strategy here.
Alright, take a sip of my juice box.
As part of calming her down, you do notice that the caretaker gives her a juice box as well.
Of course. That fix any problem.
Yeah.
Alright, Rupile will all squat down. Because that's how you talk to short people.
Dear God.
I don't do that. I'm gonna stand straight and just look down. But I was given a neck, right?
You were given a what? A neck?
A neck.
I assume so.
Yeah. I'll try to stop demeaning the little goblin. The little tiny number one goblin.
Okay, fine, I'll stand back then. What do we do? How do you...
I can make
I work
things
at a
worse.
library.
I know how to start fires. That's...
Okay, don't do that. I think plan A is to not set anything on fire.
Correct. I work on a train. I, take tickets and charge people money to ride on the train.
But if you had to deal with, like, people who have been especially, like, that...
Not like that. I personally suffer from PTSD, but that's a bit different than what... Well, maybe not.
Oh, it's maybe not that different. You got anything, big girl?
I think we really need to find out if the king's not having friends. Maybe it'll be a father test to see if he knows any of them. Because I feel like if we find him, then maybe the other two might not be as important.
Yeah. I mean, the prince was like, what, he went off traveling somewhere, right? Like, somebody's got to be able to tell us where he went, right?
Yeah, I can only imagine someone must know his itinerary.
Oh yeah, we could just ask people in town where they last seen the prince and just follow that trail of breadcrumbs. But for now, we have to
Yeah.
deal with this.
Because apparently his dad doesn't know.
Do we have to deal with this? We might have got all the information we needed.
I mean, we might as well try.
I know we were advised to talk to the scholar, which is none of these three.
I just gotta look at her, see how well she's doing.
She is much more calmed down now.
Alright, I think it's go time.
Can I roll perception to see if any of those embers actually did catch anything on fire? Because she didn't put out what landed on the floor, she put out what was on our friend's head.
Sure, you can roll perception for that.
Critical failure.
You're pretty sure that the whole room is ablaze.
Pensive. Not a fan of this. But no one else is reacting, so it'd kind of be socially unacceptable to panic right now. So I'm just gonna
step it out.
The priestess
bottle that one out.
The priestess will approach you all again and bow deeply and say, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
It's okay. This entire situation is honestly a bit awkward.
I suffer from similar trauma. Or, probably not similar, but still trauma.
So, did the prince, like, have any friends, or does anyone know, like, where he would have been heading at first?
The prince? She looks over to her bow and arrows. And she says, the prince taught me how to shoot. He is my friend. He is my friend. He said he wanted to meet the people, go about the country, learn how to rule. He asked where he should go, but I cannot remember.
Okay.
So wait, you advised him to go somewhere, but you don't remember.
No, I do not know what the outside looks like anymore.
I mean, is there anything around the bow that might serve as a hint?
You can roll perception.
That's 11.
There is another bow beside hers. It looks very well made. It probably belongs to the prince.
Is there anything particular about how the bow was made that I might know where it was made?
That would probably be like a knowledge.
Maybe history or just a flat int roll. One of the two.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a flat int roll to know like where it was manufactured.
That's what I'm good at. 8.
I love when you do that one.
You know that it is very fine wood, and it probably comes from closer to the southern region where wood is hard to find, but the stuff that's there is high quality.
That's still really vague, but I guess it helps.
I'm gonna ask her if she knows where any of the other advisors may have gone.
The other advisors?
Before where they may have gone in their travels.
She thinks really hard for a moment, and she says, the Master of the Sea really likes the sea. The Master of the Sky also likes the sea. The Guardian also likes the sea.
Interesting.
Okay.
I don't recall the others. But those three like the sea.
Alright, so we now have South and Port Towns as our options to start looking. That's
Yes,
actually...
the entire south and west edges of the kingdom.
Yep. Look, it's a start. It's what we need.
Guys.
It's more than nothing, which is what we had.
Oh, true. Do you think we're gonna get more here?
I really don't know. We might want to go visit the scholar.
Yeah, let's go to the scholar chat. They sound cool.
They sound like they vibe with your character.
Well, we'll get out of your hair.
It was nice to meet you.
Wait! She runs off towards her bed before hurrying back to you. And specifically to the goblin, hands you a charm. A little paper charm.
Okay.
For protection from the nightmares.
Okay. I will take the charm.
Well, that's very kind.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Alright, I guess we'll go check out the last of the doors we were told to check out.
Alright. You leave the priestess's room, and the caretaker and lover turn to you and say, "Do you need us for anything else? Can we be of further assistance?"
We might be fine.
We should probably be okay.
I think characters
actually-
should probably come with us in case we traumatize the scholar too.
Yes.
Explain her.
Actually, important question. Do you know if the other, advisors would have locked their rooms? Like, could we check their rooms for any clue to where they may have gone?
That's a good question. We never thought to check the rooms. We've always respected each other's privacy. I can't imagine they do, because, like I said, we have a policy of respecting one another's privacy. The only one that's ever locked, really, is the priestess, and that's for everybody else's protection.
We could try and check their rooms for, diaries or notes or maps or anything.
I don't know. Personally, I think if I was going on a journey, I'd take my diary with me.
Okay, that's why I also suggested maps. They might have, left a map with a destination circled. I don't know.
True, but I feel like I need that map on the journey as well. Well, whatever. They might have it. They might leave it behind. Hey, how have you been doing out here?
You just see Ember, and her eyes are glowing more orange, and she is just sort of fuming. It's like, I don't know who throws water at a person. I don't. That's. I totally thought we were gonna be really good friends, and it's just this is rude.
I've had to ban people from the library for precariously carrying a lot of buckets of water, so I guess I can relate.
The
On
caretaker
some level.
The caretaker will lay a hand on Ember's shoulder and say, "Don't take it too personally. She lost her entire family, I'm told, in a fire that she couldn't control."
Yeah, that's awful. I mean, fire comes so natural to me. I sometimes forget that it's
Dangerous?
scary to some people, and I'll just pull out my hand, and a small bit of molten fiery rock will appear in the palm of my hand, and then I'll just snuff it out.
Yeah, don't do that around her.
You're banned from the library. I'm not taking risks.
I truly didn't mean to cause her harm. It's just I still think that's kind of an overreaction, though. But I'll let it pass. I'm very magnanimous.
I mean, I'm not sure that you would have a better reaction if you watched your son burn to death.
Yeah.
I would have paid more attention to the embers on the ground.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
Oh.
My hair is actually mostly harmless. Do you want to touch it?
No.
I need to know. I'm gonna touch it.
It's warm, but it doesn't like hurt. It does kind of feel weird because it does like move like molten lava. It's kind of like putting your hand in jello.
Wild. Alright, I'll consider not banning you from the library. But you need a chaperone.
That's going to be a really fun risk assessment you're going to have to write now.
Oh, I'm absolutely gonna have to write one. The entire trip you will be like deciding if she allowed it or not.
I'm just now picturing the sensation of putting your hand in a hot jello, and it's just like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Maybe a little yucky.
I feel like that would just
But
feel
kinda
weird.
cool.
No,
What?
that's the opposite of cool. So you're
Yeah.
checking in on the scholar?
Yep.
Yes.
Alright. You knock on the door of the scholar, and a woman in a wheelchair opens the door to you. She looks at you all and she goes, "Yeah, I figured some of you would be coming."
Hello.
"Yep, come on in." She wheels herself into the room. You follow, and you see that it is very cluttered. There is a small living space to one side, but most of it is just taken up by weird experiments, various different potions, things that are smoking that you're not sure should be smoking, but she doesn't seem worried, as well as a whole bunch of metal everywhere.
That bear should get that secret out of its mouth.
Wowie.
I just picture an owl bear in the corner with like a full cigar.
You know what? Why not? It's not real. It's a metallic owl bear, but yes, it has a cigar in its mouth.
Well, she's not worried, so. Your elbow should quit smoking.
"Ah, I see you like my cigarette cutter." And she takes the cigarette, and the owlbear seals it for her and then, like, cuts it into a perfect size.
Amazing. I don't smoke, so I guess I'm not that impressed.
She goes, "Oh, I don't either. I just wanted to know that it was possible." She immediately crumples the cigarette and throws it out.
Oh, I respect that so much. Oh, right. The prince. We're here to help the prince.
Yes,
Because we
and
got
to
a
help
loose nibble on our hands.
and to help the advisors too. Yes, I'm well aware. She wheels over to one of her tables and picks up a map, so you can see the map of the world. She indicates to you all where, towards the southern line of the map, and draws essentially a big circle around the very edge of the country. And says this was his supposed route. So it should have brought him right around so he could visit everywhere major in the country, serve the people, see what they're all about, and then return. It would have taken him about a month to do that. Now he's a month overdue. So I'm really concerned because he only would have gotten about halfway before, well, you don't have to worry about that one. But he would have gotten about halfway before where I think he got distracted and he went off route. Now, I can't track him beyond that, but I can track the other advisors. I absolutely installed security chips in them ages ago. Don't worry about what they are. They're very advanced technology. So I know that they went north, but then after the bounds of the country, they disappear.
Okay.
Can I have some chips?
Yeah.
No.
It's really nice that somebody knows anything that's going on.
Oh, I know everything that is going on. Here, I can pull up. She presses a button on her wrist, and it pops up a little screen. It's nothing like you've ever seen before. But you look at it, and it shows 4 beeping dots near you guys. And then it has the names of the missing advisors, and all listed along the side with little lines through their names, and it says, "Cannot be tracked."
Oh.
Yeah, I was watching them. They disappeared right around the north part of the country.
So I guess we're heading north, huh?
Yep, guess you're heading north.
Was that also where the prince was supposedly going again? I forget which, like, where on the map was his route.
Oh, he was meant to loop around the country, so he would have started going south and then made it to the north, where I think he went off track.
Okay.
So yes, it would have been around the same point.
Well then.
Alright, we have ourselves a lead.
But again, I can't track the prince. I can only track the others. So that's just my theory of where he went. I'm not 100% certain. I mean, there's always the possibility that he could have gone elsewhere, but what are the odds, right?
Yeah, no, it's really unlikely.
I mean, worst case scenario is the prince didn't go north, but the advisors did, and then we can ask them to see where they parted ways with.
Oh yeah, was anyone even escorting him in the first place, or?
Oh no. His father is he's very much a believer in earning your place in the world. And although he offered his son an escort and said that it wouldn't diminish his opinion of him at all, I guess Prince Casson took that to heart and he decided he wanted to do this solo.
Oh.
So, we know we want to go north, and Starden might have something to do with celestial bodies, so I feel like Starden makes the most logical sense, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
It's at least a starting point.
Well, if you're heading north, then you've got two options, and I would advise you to take the second option, because the first one is to go straight north through through the Serpent Mountains, and no one wants to go through the Serpent Mountains.
Oh, yeah, fuck that.
Or you can loop south and around to the other side around Falsemore, and you could commission a boat to take you across the river.
This will take a while, huh?
Well, I guess you have the third option of going over to Summer Harbor and commissioning a boat to take you upriver, but that's going to be way more expensive.
We could also, reach Falsemore by going north and then west instead of going south. There's bridges up there.
Oh yeah, there is the Stilldale Bridge. They do charge a toll, though.
Damn, if only had a vehicle for, like, long-distance transport.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't developed anything like that.
Damn it.
Not even sure where you'd find something like that, honestly.
It'd be absurd. It'd come from another world or something.
Well, we can take my train.
Your what?
Your what?
The big metal contraption I came here in?
You came here in a big metal contraption and I haven't seen it?
Well, it's more so like a magical spirit taking the form of big metal contraption, but yeah.
Oh, can I see it?
It's parked out, like, outside the city because they won't let me bring it in, but yeah.
Oh, the accessibility is terrible here, but yes, I'm in.
Alright. I guess I'll, go show everyone the train.
Alright.
Yeah, I didn't want to make a big deal of that because I was kind of tired.
The scholar comes with you. The servant meets you outside of the advisor's rooms and says, Oh, my lady, is there anything that I can do for you? And immediately she says, Take me to the train! The servant, being very confused, asks, What's a train?
It's outside the city.
Oh, yes, I can escort you outside the city. And she starts pushing the scholar's chair along.
Alright.
You escort the scholar outside of the city, and you can now see the train.
Yep. It's a pretty big train. It's got an engine, a cargo car, staff car, 3 just general people cars, bar car, restaurant car, casino car. Okay, this part's not in character. I'm just trying to explain how big the fucking train is.
The scholar is immediately like, Take me into the engine.
The Arbitorium, because my train has a fucking Arbitorium on it. 2 higher end cars, and a car that has a telescope on the back and like an open area. But yep, it has. I lost count how many cars those were.
That was a lot of cars.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars. Like
More than enough. About
3,
what is it called?
6, 8, 10, something like 12 cars or something.
The scholar is only interested in seeing the engine.
All right.
Andrew's gonna look around. It's like, this is the most impressive metal snake I've ever seen.
What's the second most impressive?
You've seen another metal snake.
I mean, on craft day back in Saltmire, we built all sorts of different metalwork, sort of like just like sculptures. I would help out a lot because heating metal is really handy. But there would be just dragons, wolves, sometimes big snakes. But that snake was at most maybe twice or 3 times my size. This is much more impressive.
Yeah, that does sound cool.
The scholar will say, oh, you're from Saltmire. Do they still have the crafting fair every year? The metal forging fair?
Oh yeah, it's a really big deal. I'm not to brag, but they always pick me as one of the judges.
Ah, neat. I used to compete in that. That's where I got my metal handmade, and she holds up one of her hands that's completely metal.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, it came in handy after I lost it in the forge.
Oh. But look on the bright side, you got a really cool replacement.
Oh yeah, it's dope. I love it. I have to oil it every now and then, but I love it.
Yep, I'll show her to the engine room.
She will take a look around, poke around, try and figure out how it works. I assume it works by magic.
Pretty much, but it does have all the things needed to actually function like a train. It still would technically need fuel and everything. It just magically supplies its own fuel for up to, I think it's a full 8 hours worth of travel.
Okay. She makes a ton of notes, and she says, hey, do me a favor. Don't leave until tomorrow. I want to spend the night examining this.
Sure. I will point to the centaur that, is the engineer who runs the whole engine room, and just point him out to her as he's the one who kind of makes the train and knows how it runs and all that stuff.
She looks him up and down and she goes, I don't want to make myself a horse body now. Why'd I have to be born with one leg? Why couldn't I have been born with none? Then I could have just sculpted it right on. I'm gonna have to figure out how to make the leg work with the butt. She jots down another idea in her notebook. The next time you encounter her, she may or may not be half metal centaur. So yes, you leave her to poke around the engine room?
Yep.
Okay. What is your next step, y'all?
Well, so you're cool with us using this to get around, right? I don't know what you use this for.
That depends. You guys can either, sleep in some of the staff carts, which are cramped and small, or you can, pay for actual tickets to ride in the actual proper carts with the bigger rooms.
I mean, is there a friend's discount?
I just met you all.
I mean, we are on a quest from the king.
Yeah, and I've got tithe to pay, or else my entire goddamn existence gets whisked away to serve a queen for the next god knows how long.
Well, you know who has a lot of money? The king.
Okay.
Oh.
The king's not
Ooh.
paying to ride on my train, though.
Hey, he'll pay for us.
Are you asking to fund the expedition?
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, this... It feels a little strange that we're just kind of being brought in to do a big quest with, like, no real talk of, like, payment or, like, what resources that we might need.
We could just walk. The train seems pretty overrated anyway.
I mean, I don't know, I'm just a little overwhelmed by it because I've never had to pay for anything before.
Well, I mean, how much is the car? I mean, I guess
So
that's
sorry, honey.
Well, the standard fare for a normal room is 10 gold, and then you got a ticket until your destination.
Alright, let's go talk to the king.
All right, so the servant escorts you back to the palace, and you are led to the king, just sitting down to his lunch. He gestures to the seats around him. Join me, please.
Yeah. I'll sit down. I guess I'll just take up the lunch I was given earlier.
Ah, I see you spoke to the caretaker.
Of
Yeah.
course.
I've already eaten my lunch and drank my juice box.
So, we have a lead,
Excellent.
and we might need funding for our trip.
Of course, of course. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. Let's say 50 gold a day for the expedition. How long do you expect it to take?
I
That's okay.
don't know.
I'm just gonna ask our little friend here. How quickly does this train of yours move? How like, do you think we could get to start in like what? How many hours?
It's got a speed of 140 feet per turn, whatever that equates to.
I'm just gonna say you'd be able to get in between each of the cities in like a day. So that would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say a week to reach Starden, if that's where you're headed.
Really? And on foot, it'd be a lot longer between towns, huh?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So that would be what? Actually, where are we right now?
I mean, you would have to cross the river or the mountains, and you couldn't use the train for either of those, so that might extend it a little bit. But
True.
The train's roughly 4 times faster than on foot.
Oh, where is our starting place? Is it Greymont?
it's New Spire.
New Spire.
Bottom right.
Oh, that's way further down than I thought.
So, if it takes us a week to get there and a week back, just in case it takes us longer, we should double it. So, shall we say 4 weeks?
That will give us time to search and look around and explore the forest, because
Mm-hmm.
I was going to tell you now, the train does not do well in forests. We'll have to do that part probably on foot.
Yes. And we stopped. And we definitely have extra for any equipment and supplies.
Oh, well, of course I can provide you with all of that before you leave here.
All right. Well, we'll need at least 4. So I guess we would need at very least 14 days worth of funding.
Well, let's make it a month, so you have the extra time. That'll be 6,000 gold in total, so yes, will 6,000 gold total for the expedition work?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so.
Yes, excellent. All right, we'll get you that gold, and whatever equipment or supplies that you need on top of that, please just let my servants know, and they will equip you accordingly.
Excellent.
I would advise also bringing in this. I assume your train is your horse's name. Bring him in. We'll get fresh shoes on him and get him done up in my colors and all, so that everybody knows you're representing the king.
Not quite.
What do you mean?
You know those contraptions the scholar tends to make?
Ah, yes, the They're awfully confusing.
Yeah, I think a real big one of those.
Oh.
She's currently investigating and studying it for herself right now.
Excellent. I would expect no less of her.
Alright, well, we got ourselves a day.
Alright.
Yes, if there's any further assistance that I can be to you, please, just let me know. Otherwise, feel free to explore all that my capital city has to offer. We have many shops, many restaurants, many inns. Just show that mark upon your hand and everyone will recognize it as my symbol. They'll bill me directly. Also, if you would like to join me for supper tonight, I will have my dancers perform.
You're such a great host.
Thank you. I do my very best.
Yeah.
And please consider yourself to have free range of the castle.
I'm gonna make a request of. Do merchants gather in this town at all? And if so, whereabouts do merchants that are traveling gather?
We don't tend to get many traveling merchants here, just because we have so many permanent storefronts. But if any were to gather, they would typically be in the town square.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna head up the armor. I could maybe use something a little nicer than what I have now.
Of course, I can have a servant show you to my private armory.
I would love that.
He summons Harold and says, "Harold, take this man to my armory." He just quietly responds, "Yeah, yes, Your Highness. It's Ray. It's not Harold, but okay."
Thank you.
Speaking of names, I don't think we've really taken the time to just sit around and introduce ourselves to each other. We should do the thing where we all say our names and one interesting thing about ourselves.
A delightful idea. Well, I guess I'll break the ice here. I am King Calhoun. One interesting thing about me is I've been married twice.
Huh.
Ooh.
Great, good for you.
Like it. Oh, go ahead.
I'm Graham. I mean, I'm mostly practice of the sword, but I'm learning magic on the side.
Ooh. I love someone multi-talented. So, my name is Ember Dreamtail, and one thing that's interesting about me is that I'm really into volunteer work.
Excellent. A good leader and a good hero is always volunteering their time and effort to their people.
I'm Zoe. That is who I am. And she's just gonna abruptly stop and not bother with the second part.
Hi, Zoe.
The king will prompt you. And Zoe, tell us a little about yourself.
I'd rather.
Come now. I want to get to know you as one of my subjects. You look a little bit familiar. Have I met you before?
No, sir. No, Your Highness. You have. That probably doesn't sound genuine out of her mouth, but.
Are you lying? Are you trying to convince him that he hasn't met you before?
Yeah.
Okay, roll persuasion.
That's a 16.
He is convinced that you've never met before. He goes, "Oh, well, there's must be something interesting about you. Tell me, if you could eat one food the rest of your life, what would it be?"
Oh, I guess that's interesting about me. I'd probably give up. Why would you live in a world where you could only eat one food for the rest of your life?
Well, there's there's many other pleasures you could still partake in besides food. He abruptly will drop the subject and turn to the goblin. And you, my little friend.
My name is Prim. And, I work on a train.
I'm still confused about what that is, but what does your work entail?
I'm the ticket master. I, collect fares from people and give them the tickets so they can ride the train. And if they, don't pay, I enforce that and kick them off the train.
Oh, like on a boat.
Oh, yes, I'm familiar with the concept now. That is good work. I imagine you meet many interesting people.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm so glad to know all of you a little bit better.
Oh yeah, I think it's great to really I haven't really worked as part of a group very often, but I think it would just serve us better if we became friends, and I'm sure we will in time.
You cannot force it, of course, but nothing makes a tight friendship quite like working together. Now, if you will excuse me, I have several other duties to attend to, and he will stand from the table and with a slight bow to you all leave.
Well, I'm just gonna kind of very excited. All right, can we get to the armory?
Yes, follow me.
Oh. Well, what was it, Roy?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh my god, yes.
I didn't say it right.
Correct. You're just happy someone got close.
That is my name now, yes.
Well, Roy, let's show me to that armory.
He will eagerly take you to the armory.
Lead the way, Roy.
You enter into it's a pretty standard royal armory. There's lots of armors that the king has collected over the years, or they're emblazoned with different crests from different noble families that they've bestowed upon him. There's swords, poleaxes, knives, all sorts of things. Shields.
Oh, well, I already have a decent sword and a shield. I'm gonna start rooting around with the armor, see if there's a suit of plate mail that fits me.
There isn't much. You find one that you can squeeze yourself into, but that's about it.
How many daggers can I take before they ask me to stop?
Ray isn't getting paid enough to care.
I'll just say a dozen then.
Alright, you take a dozen ornate daggers.
Okay, well, the plate armor doesn't fit very well.
Ray sizes you up. And he says, your dimensions aren't too far off of me. I have a second, plate armor you could have.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Yeah, come on, I'll take it in my room and I'll get you the other armor. He leads you to his room in the servants' quarters. You realize that his is, in the basement, but, there's another basement below the basement, and that's where he lives. It's very damp, very dark, and the room is very small and cramped, basically just big enough for him. He hands you the armor and then says, you can change here if you want, or take it to your room, I don't care.
I'm changing now.
Oh, hang on.
I'm very excited.
He turns around and, hides his face. Even though he's still wearing a mask, he hides his face.
I'm putting it over my clothes. It's armor.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I don't really, interact with a ton of people.
But you can see how muscular he is under his shirt, so...
Ray is very interested in this fact, and kind of in the middle of saying he doesn't interact with a lot of people, just stops talking.
I'm just gonna ask, this is probably a strap sort of hey man, Help me tighten this up.
With great awkwardness, he'll reach over and help you do up some straps.
Thanks, man.
You,
Oh,
you,
man.
yeah,
This is good.
you're welcome.
I'm just gonna fucking chomp around the room and like new plate mail.
Well, there's not a whole lot of room, so you pretty much can take like one step and you're immediately like right next to him. He's like flat against the wall, just like, what are you doing?
Well, now that I have protection. I'm gonna go into the hall, walk around in this bit. Oh,
the caretaker
Feels
always
good.
told me protection was important. I don't think she meant like this.
it's so important. Now, do you have any plates you could show me?
Any plates?
Blades.
Blade. I only have the one sword.
Nah, I already have my own. Not sure what I'd do with two.
I have a spare mask. He holds up a second skull mask.
That won't be necessary. Well, hopefully the king pays you back for this, because he seems dense.
I mean, probably he won't. I might get in a little bit of trouble for losing my second plate mail, but it's cool.
Oh, come on.
It's cool. It's fine. I'll buy another one.
Well, let me know if you need any extra fucking... I'll let you know if we have some funds left over.
Okay,
Or,
cool.
You know, I guess I'll just return this when I don't need it anymore.
Okay, cool. No worries, man. Just no worries. I mean, you called me by my name almost, so that's enough.
Alright, thanks, Ron.
No, that one's not close.
It's about as close.
It's not. It's really not. You keep getting further.
Oh no. Oh well.
It's Ray. It's Ray.
So what? Okay,
It's Ray.
Ray.
Yeah, it's Ray.
I'll try to remember.
Thank you. He's almost in tears at this point. How's everyone else doing in the armory?
Character's not really interested in being in the armory. She'll basically look at some of the weapons, look at her own like brass knuckles, and just ignore what's in the armory and leave.
Where are you leaving to?
I guess I'm gonna head towards the town square.
All right. What about everyone else? What are you up to?
When everyone else is going to the armory, I would have liked to go into town, and I would like to see if I could find a Church of the Silver Flame in town. And if I can't, I would just look for sad people I can cheer up.
There are no churches in town.
Yeah.
And most people around seem to be pretty happy. But if you would like to search a little harder and see if you can notice any sad people, then you can roll investigation.
Yeah. God damn it, the quality of life is too good here. I can't make an impact.
Would you like to have caught up to her?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so you're both in town, having failed to find a church.
Okay, so my base roll is real bad. Let's see, investigation would be intelligence. So that is, that's gonna be a 4.
You cannot find anybody who seems particularly sad. There's one kid crying because they dropped their ice cream, but their parent quickly gives them another.
I would just like look around and just like, man, this is just like the happiest place on earth. I can't do any good here.
I was able to spot it enough to need an illusion.
If
I will.
If when you're looking for the church, you're asking people where a church is, they're just going to direct you back to the palace and say that you can pray with the priestess.
She doesn't like me very much.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't like most people.
Alright, so I guess I will I'll notice Prem being in the same area and just being like, oh hey.
Hey. What you up to?
Well, I was hoping for the chance to like pray or maybe do some like quality volunteer work to like spread the name of the Silver Flame, but people are really too happy here and there's not a lot of churches around. I guess I could go back to the train and pray in the engine room. That's probably the warmest place in the city right now.
Just like, I need to pray. He just commits arson real quick.
Yeah.
You can't convict me because it's religious discrimination.
You're not wrong, except for the fact that the train's not in the city.
Oh yeah, but once we leave, I mean, I really don't know what to do with the rest of my day though. What are your plans?
I was gonna go and see if any of the merchants were looking to, travel north.
Huh? That would be fun.
Offer
I like
them,
that.
tickets to the train so that they can, have their wares travel at a much faster and safer pace.
You do find that there are some traveling merchants set up in the middle of the town square. In the town square, there is a large statue of the king. It is also a fountain. He has water spurting out of a sword in his hand.
I guess the opposite of what you're looking for.
And around it are just a few little stalls selling, like, spices, knickknacks, jewelry.
Alright. I guess I'll just kind of walk from stall to stall and inquire if any of them are looking to expand their traveling and sales upwards to, up to the north. Any of the towns between here and Starden?
Starden, yes. You find 3 who are looking. 2 jewelry sales people and a spice salesperson. The rest are heading south.
Alright. Well then, do I have an offer for you guys? I work for a magical vehicle that will be traveling north to Starden and will be making stops at various towns along the way. Depending on how much supplies you have to travel with will, depend on the price, but it is a comfortable place to rest on the travel, and it is a safe place to rest on the travel. A common room is 10 gold. A medium quality room would be 50 gold, and the aristocratic high quality room would be 100 gold.
Roll persuasion at a disadvantage because you are a goblin and they've never seen a creature like you in their lives.
Yep.
Since I'm with them, can I do the help action just by being like, it's a really cool train. Like, I've seen it. They got everything in there. They got like this really cool, almost like a restaurant right in the train. Like, it's really something to see.
Take away the disadvantage.
Okay. I'm not gonna bother adding my extra d6 option because that's a crit +2.
Yeah, you convince one of them to go.
Okay.
The urban spice salesperson will sign up with you and hand
Okay.
you 10 gold.
Alright. I'll hand them back a ticket to get on the train with.
They take it and they're like, excellent. I just have one question. What's a train?
Think like a boat that goes across the land.
Oh, sick. Okay.
I figure that's probably the easiest way to explain it at this point to people.
I was gonna call it a big metal snake again, but maybe that would be the most inviting thing.
Yeah, we leave tomorrow morning, or tomorrow at some point. The train is currently parked outside town. We're pretty much just waiting for the scholar to finish taking notes on it before we leave.
Oh, it's a scholar invention.
No, it's not a scholar invention, but she likes the design and is looking to use the design in her own inventions.
It must be good then. I look forward to riding it.
So which town are they going to? That's the next question.
They are going to Summer Harbor.
Okay. Yep. Very much along the way. Perfect.
Yep.
Alright.
Is there anything else you would like to do while you're in town, or while in the palace, or are you joining the king for supper?
Yeah. Probably join the king for supper.
Yeah, definitely go for like the big meal and the entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
There'd be no reason not to.
All right, you kind of spend the rest of your day, exploring the town, doing a bit of shopping, seeing what the castle's like. If you choose to go outside to the garden, it is beautiful. You can really, really much enjoy yourself. And then come evening, the king will summon you all for supper. He sends Harold to gather you all. You walk into a grand dining room with a stage along one side. A sumptuous feast is placed before you, and the king stands and he says, "Welcome, my friends, welcome. I am told by the scholar that you will be good to go come the morning. She is very fascinated by your what is it called? A train? A train. Yes. She's very fascinated by it. I look forward to seeing what she does with the information. I hope you all enjoyed my city and my palace."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. Like I've seen so many like marvels today. Like it's the train, and then like a palace within a palace. Like it's been a day.
I'm so glad you are delighted by it. Well, sit with me, feast, and let me summon the dancers. And he claps his hands. 2 dancers come out on stage, one dressed very traditionally belly top, the large pants. They both have on the hat with the attached mask, so you can only see the top half of their face. The other is dressed essentially in rags, covering not much. She is leading the other one. The other one is blindfolded. The one in rags positions her on a portion of the stage and hands her 2 swords. The other one stands a bit away, picks up 2 large sticks, and taps the 2 sticks together. They break into a very complex sword dance, with the blindfolded one essentially attacking the other one and chopping little bits off of her sticks at a time. Go ahead and roll an intelligence.
I am bad at this.
For anybody who is watching the dance.
I'm definitely watching. This 22.
That's been 18 for me.
8.
You don't notice shit.
15.
Alright, so besides the goblin, most of you notice that the dancer with the rags is unnaturally pale. And that she has a long scar up one side of her abdomen. Graham notices Not only is she exceptionally pale, but she's also exceptionally short and seems almost furious at you for watching her.
I just want to see the cool sword thing, but I guess I'm just gonna focus on my dinner.
The dance continues for probably about 5 minutes. It's very complex, and whenever her sticks disappear, she picks up more from the stage and continues fighting the blindfolded swordsman. It finishes when she rolls a barrel towards the blindfolded woman, who leaps upon it and uses her sword to basically whack it open. It is positioned in such a way that she is right at the end of the stage next to where the king is sitting, and he, with perfect timing, sticks out his wine glass to catch a drink.
I clap.
I will also applaud that.
I clap knowing that there's clapping going on.
A round of applause has started, so I have to clap.
The king takes a deep drink and gestures that you should all fill your glasses as well. My finest wine, he says. Opened by one of my finest dancers. They both bow and leave.
Thank you very much again. You are a marvelous host, and I'll drink deep.
The wine is delicious. It is aged probably like from back before the war.
Do you have to go over to get the wine from the barrel?
Yes, you do.
Alright. I'm gonna have fun and just use my Twilight Step to just teleport 30 feet over, get the wine, and then teleport back.
The king kind of chokes on his wine. And he goes, I didn't know goblins could do that. Is that a you thing? Or is that a goblin thing?
A bit of both. Most goblins can't, but I'm more in touch with my Fey heritage than most goblins.
Oh.
So it's like buried deep within our bloodline, but like not a lot of people can access it.
No. He looks a little bit relieved, and you hear him just mutter to himself, I need to reevaluate my relationship with the goblins. This is probably your last chance to talk to the king if there's any further info you'd like to get.
I think we're good.
Alright, so you enjoy a delicious feast, a fun entertainment, and the next morning you awake refreshed in your rooms and ready to begin your journey. You have been provided with all supplies and provisions that you could possibly need, anything that you would have requested. So you've got your gloves, you've got your armor, and you've been provided with your 6,000 gold.
Which we're splitting 4 ways, so that's 1,500 each.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we are ready so that next time we can just jump in and begin the journey.
Yep.
This was a very fun first session.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a
Yeah.
lot. I really like the NPCs. Like all the advisors were really cool.
Thank you. So that's the end of the first session.
Alright, and with that, I'll end the stream.